Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Asad Yaqub and I am from Lahore, Pakistan, and I teach IELTS in Lahore. And I teach IELTS across the world, all over the world, through my online classes as well. I welcome you to a whole new series of programs, and that is IELTS Guide. And Asad Yaqub is going to be your IELTS guide, and the tour towards the destination is band 7 or band 8 or maybe band 9. That is the destination. You are the tourists, I am the guide, and we are going to go on this journey, right? All the way I will guide you, I'll tell you, I'll take you through thick and through thins, so you don't need to worry about anything. All you need to do, you need to follow my instructions. So the first thing we are going to discuss towards the journey of IELTS, or on the way to get good bands in IELTS, the first thing we're going to start with, that is IELTS listening guide. You are the tourists and I am Asad Yaqub, your tourist guide, and we are going to embark on a great journey towards IELTS band 8 or even 9. Why not? Okay? Yes, that's right. Now I'm going to give you a whole new lot of tips and tricks and techniques to get good bands in IELTS. So all you need to do, you need to follow me. You need to follow my instructions, then you need to act upon my instructions, you need to take the practice test, and there you are. You'll be ready for IELTS listening. So let's take a start. Today we're going to talk about a type of questions that is called notes completion. In listening, we've got a type of questions that is called notes completion. There are certain notes and you got to complete these notes. Now, this is the question type. First, I want you to see the question type. Take a look. Got it? See, there are some notes, right? And you got to complete these notes, and there are 4 questions. Now, let's go on. The first thing is task guide. In task guide, I'm going to give you some useful information about IELTS listening, and the question type is notes completion. So let's take a start. This task requires you to write answers that are pieces of information given in the recording you hear. So there are certain pieces of information, you got to listen to them and you got to find the answers from there. Read the instructions on the question booklet which they are going to give you. You got to read the instructions carefully. These will tell you the maximum number of words, like 1, 2 or 3 words you can use to answer the questions. This may be as many as 3, but maybe only 2 or 1 as well. They may also tell you that numbers are required. The words or numbers you need are on the recording. Do not rephrase or change the form of the words on the recording. So as you listen to the word, you got to write it down as it is. You don't need to change the form of the verb. As you listen, just write it down. I mean, if it is recording, recorded or record, so you can write it as it is. So the questions, they follow the order of the recording. Definitely in listening, questions follow the order of the recording, but sometimes it's different as well. I'll tell you about that as well. Welcome to Step-by-Step Guide. In this part, I'm going to give you some instructions about how to do notes completion, and we will solve one question together as well. Then I will play the audio. You got to listen and you got to find the answers. Okay. Step 1. Think first. What? Look at the notes. What sort of information is required in each gap? That's what you got to think. Look at the notes and see what sort of information is required here. For example, do I need the price? Do I need the amount? Do I need the mobile number? Do I need the passport number? Do I need the flight number? Do I need this or that and all that stuff? So that's what you guys need to see. Now, then you got to decide if each gap 1 to 4 will require a word, whether there's going to be a word or a number, or there's going to be word and a number. Right? It can be a word, it can be a number, it can be word and a number. That's what you got to decide. That is step 1. Gotcha? Good. Step 2. Now listen and do the task. At step 2, you got to listen, you got to do the task. Step 3. Check what you heard. Now whatever you hear in the audio, you got to check for your hearing. You got to check for your understanding. What is that? 3 things are important. What are those three things? A, you must be ready for the information. That's important. Whenever the information comes, you must be ready. If the phone number is coming, you must be ready for that. Okay? So you must be ready for the information. B, you must write the correct information. Whatever it is, because there are certain traps in IELTS listening, so you need to follow the correct information. You must write the correct information, and you must be careful not to write the wrong information. Wrong information is like a trap. Let's go on. Look at the tape script for question 1. Now you can look at the question 1, that is Easy Let Accommodation Agency, and they've got here cheapest properties, number 1, question number 1, and there is a sign of pound and then per week. Okay, so this is actually some amount you got to listen for, and that's the cheapest properties. It means they can be the most expensive. I mean, this is the starting range, this is the minimum range, they can be the maximum range, they can be the middle range, but you got to find the cheapest property or the minimum range actually. Look at the transcript for question 1 for A. The words which lead you to the answer are underlined. Now the words that are going to take you to the answer, they are underlined. For B, the number you must write for the answer is circled, and for C, words which you might wrongly think could be the answers are in italics. We can see that. You can see that with me as well. Transcript. Easy Let, good morning. How can I help you? You can see that too. Hello, I saw your advertisement in the paper and I am calling to ask about renting a flat. Now what is question number 1? It's basically the cheapest properties per week. Okay, so we go on. Man, certainly. What kind of flat had you in mind? Well, I don't know exactly. I mean, it depends on price to some extent. Man says, okay, now we have properties across the whole range. The average is probably 120 pounds a week. Now that is average. Your question is not about average, right? Your question is about cheapest properties. This is average. 120 pounds is an average. That's not the right answer. That is just a trap. Then they go on. Oh, I was hoping for something a little cheaper. Now she's asking for that. Man, they start at 90 pounds. That's the lowest we have usually. They start and the lowest, and see in the question they have used the word cheapest properties. Okay, so see, your guide is telling you how to solve IELTS listening mystery. This mystery is not going to be the mystery for you anymore because I am over here right now. Okay, don't worry. So the answer is going to be 90 pounds because they say clearly they start at 90 pounds. That's lowest we have usually, and they go up to 200 pounds. Now 200 pounds is the highest one. Your question is cheapest properties. Now see, with one right answer 90 pounds, there are two traps. One is 120 pounds and the other one is 200 pounds. Gotcha? Now you know why your answers are wrong and how can you find the right answer, because your guide is here. Asad Yaqub is your IELTS guide, and Asad Yaqub is actually guiding you how to do IELTS listening, and we will solve all the tests. Don't worry, okay, I'm here. Happy? Good. Yes, it's all because of you guys. You appreciate me and I give you my 100%. I try to find the latest material and I try to share that with you. Okay, good. Now let's go on with question number 2. Question number 2 is minimum period of contract. The words like minimum, it means there can be maximum also if they're talking about minimum. So we need to differentiate between minimum and maximum, and our requirement is minimum period of contract. It can be in months or years. Minimum period of contract. Now let's go on and we see. An important question is how long you are thinking of staying. That's a question. It means the information related to that is going to come over here. An important question is how long you are thinking of staying in the property. We don't do short lets. Short lets are the people who stay for a short time and then they leave the flat. So we don't do short lets. The woman says, I'd want a flat for 9 months, perhaps longer. 9 months, perhaps longer. Now see, 9 months is going to be a trap because the question is minimum period of contract. That's not the minimum period of contract. That's what the woman wants to stay there. She wants to stay in that flight for minimum 9 months or more. But the question is minimum period of contract. Got it now? How the trap actually works in IELTS listening? Then they say, that would be fine. Our contracts are for a standard 6 months. Standard 6 months. Now what is that? Minimum period of contract, standard 6 months. Minimum period of contract, standard 6 months. So what's the answer? 6 months. Okay, yes, this is how it works. All right, 6 months, and that can be extended. The woman says, fine, I need to come in and see you. Good. So this is how it works. I just told you about notes completion and we solved 4 questions. Now I'm going to play the audio for you. I'm going to put the questions in front of you, and there are 2 more questions and you got to find their answers. Find the answers and then we go on.
Listen carefully to the first part of the conversation and answer questions 1 to 4.
Easy Let, good morning. How can I help you?
Hello, I saw your advertisement in the paper and I'm calling to ask about renting a flat.
Certainly. What kind of flat had you in mind?
Well, I don't know exactly. I mean, it depends on price to some extent.
Okay. Now, we have properties across the whole range. The average is probably £120 a week.
Oh, I was hoping for something a little cheaper.
They start at £90, that's the lowest we have usually, and they go up to £200.
I could manage the lowest figure.
An important question is how long you're thinking of staying in the property. We don't do short lets.
I'd want a flat for 9 months, perhaps longer.
That would be fine. Our contracts are for a standard 6 months, and that can be extended.
Fine. I'd need to come in and see you?
Yes, our office is open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
I'd need to come in on Saturday.
Okay, then we're here between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. We also open on Sunday mornings until 1 p.m.
Saturday is fine. If possible, I'd like to see details of some properties first.
We can post you a list, or you may find it easier to look on the internet.
Oh yes, I have the address here. Thank you.
Welcome back with answer key. Okay, how was that? Easy? Yes, it's section 1 and 2 questions we had done already. So the first question, the answer is 90. Correct. And note, 3 figures are mentioned in the audio. One is 120, one is 90 and 200 pounds. But the note is about the cheapest. So the lowest. The price range starts at, right? So that is going to be your answer. Number 2, what's the answer? 6 months. Correct. Very good. Now, what's the note for that? 2 periods are mentioned. One is 9 months. The lady said, I want to stay for minimum 9 months and it can be more. I may extend that as well, right? And 6 months. But the note is about the minimum, so the standard which can be extended, and that standard is actually 6 months. Alright, question number 3. What's your answer? 4 p.m. Correct. Very good. The answer is 4 p.m. Note, various times they mentioned there. Did you see that? 9 a.m., 5 p.m., 10 a.m., 4 p.m. and 1 p.m. and you had to identify from all these times that what's the right time. And days, Saturday and Sunday, right? All these things are mentioned. But the note is about the closing time on Saturday. Closing time on Saturday, not on other days. So closing time on Saturday. They said open Saturdays until and after until they said 4 p.m. So 4 p.m. is the answer. Feeling happy? Good. This is how I'm going to tell you about all the types of questions and you're gonna get 9 out of 9 in listening. Those who are looking for 8777, this video is dedicated to you. Your IELTS guide is here. Your IELTS listening guide is going to make sure you are getting 8 bands in listening or even 9. Why not, huh? Okay, now let's go on. Question number 4. The answer is the internet. The is optional word. Internet or the internet. Very good. Now what is the note? A list of properties could be sent by post. That's a trap. He said a list of properties could be sent by post, but the list is available as the note says. The note says, but the list is available on the internet. And what's the question? List of properties available on the internet. So he says there, but the list is available on the internet. That is what interests the women calling, and what she makes a note of it would not be grammatically possible to fit a note about the post into the gap. So what she writes, that is not possible to fit in the gap, right? As these are notes, so it is not necessary to include words such as the or an. Whenever you are writing the notes, articles are not important. Now you write internet or you write the internet, both ways it is correct. However, the rubric allows up to 2 words. Rubric means the question instructions. They allow up to 2 words. So you can include the if you want. The internet you can say, because it's written in the beginning, no more than 2 words and or a number for each answer. Is that clear? Happy? Good. So if you like this video, go ahead and hit on the like button, and this is just the beginning. If this video pleased you, don't worry, we'll move on with section 2, section 3, section 4, and we'll discuss all the types of listening questions. If you like this video, hit on the like button, subscribe my channel, share my videos with your other fellows so that they get to know about my IELTS videos as well. Along with that, I teach IELTS online. If you want to take online IELTS classes through Skype or through WhatsApp, I'll teach you in online classes. So for that you can contact, my WhatsApp number is given, and online classes are not free. I charge fee for that. Asad Yaqub from Lahore, Pakistan wishes you all the best. Take care. Bye-bye.